Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. Let me turn this off. All right, there we go, we're set. So how's everybody? How was your week? How you guys are sorting out? Challenges of life. So we have Anand says, hi Miran, male 17. Thank you very much for that. Anand, male 17 from where? Aman is, hello Miran, male 19, India. Thank you for that. Anish says, how to deal with infidelity and how to move on from being cheated on. Okay, good question. We'll talk about that after I say hello to everyone. And Dilgani is here. Salam Mehrani says, 24 male from London. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. And Liz says, hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, yeah, fantastic, as you know, we're alive. Sun is kind of shining. That's as fantastic as it can get, and we're good with that. And thank you for that. Hope the same for you. And Slobodan says, hello, Miran, 21 Belgrade. How are you, mate? Thank you very much for asking. I'm good. As you know, it's Nowruz today, and happy Nowruz to all of you, whether you are of Persian descendant or not. It's a 5,000-6,000 years, at least 3,000-4,000 years old tradition of celebrating a new year based on equinox, based on the revolution of Earth around the sun. And so every year is at a different time. It's scientifically calculated. I think this year was last night about 2 a.m. We had that revolution completed, and so that also marks the first day of the spring, 20 or 21st of March, depending on which year. And that's a Persian New Year called Nowruz, which means no means new, Ruz means day, means a new day. So hopefully a new day has risen, and we will all have new hopes, and we will get rid of this shit that is going on around the world that's locked everybody down and uprooted everyone's lives. So we hope for the best, and this is Nowruz. Happy Nowruz. And we have Aman, who says, well, Aman, you should stop labeling anything, any feeling or behavior. Don't label it. Just observe it for what it is. And if you don't label it, then you're not dealing with a conclusion that you think you have to deal with. Because every word has a meaning in the dictionary, and that meaning is incontestable. Therefore, you think that meaning that is incontestable, it's a conclusion about who you are. It's not. It's got nothing to do with the meaning of the word. When you give it a conclusion, then you're dealing with a conclusion. But when you don't give it a label or conclusion, or whatever the feeling or thought comes to your head, then you're just dealing with some bullshit thought. There is no echelon to it. There is no decree to it. There is no authority to it. So don't give any feeling or thought that shows up in your head a credibility, a label, a conclusion. So if you don't give any conclusion or label to any thought or feelings that shows up in you or in your head, then you're not dealing with any conclusion, authority, decree, or any sort of a label. You're dealing with an observation. An observation, just dime a dozen, comes and goes. I see that bird, come and go. But if I give a conclusion, oh, that bird is a missile. Now I'm dealing with a missile. I'm not dealing with the observation of something passed by. I don't care if it's a bird or whatever it is. Just something passed by. That's the observation. But you give it a label. Oh, it's a bird. Oh, it's an airplane. Oh, it's a missile. Oh, it's a whatever. Then you're dealing with something other than what it simply was. Something passed by. Now, if I have a feeling, like, I don't know, just simple as that. You want to go pee. Oh, that's a sign of a cancer. I'm peeing more than 2 times a day. Well, now you're dealing with something other than what it really is. You just want to go pee. Or you feel something is itching here. Oh, that itching might be a sign of cancer. Or maybe I'm an allergic. Or maybe it's going to now bubble up. Oh, now you're dealing with something that has got nothing to do with what it was. It was a scratch. It was an itch. That's it. We could itch on our skin. We could itch in our corner of our eyes. We could feel sad. We could feel frightened. We could feel, inferior to somebody or something. We could feel all kind of feelings. But you want to make a conclusion and a label and an interpretation of that itch here or that feeling of inferiority or sadness or what. Then suddenly you're not living. You're always trying to come up with conclusions or interpretations or data hunting. Just waste your time. Life is not like that. Not anything that shows up in your head has any meaning whatsoever. But you try to make meaning out of it, then you're wasting your time, you're bamboozling yourself, you're digging deep for nothing, finding nothing in that digging. What are you doing that for? Understand you're a human being. An array of thoughts and things comes to your head and goes like an array of debris and the pollutions and birds and things can pass by the sky. You're not going to follow and say, oh, what was that? Oh, what was that? Oh, that means something. Oh, that's going to north or going to south. What does it? Just live. We can scratch, we can fart, we can feel sad, we can feel happy, we can feel itchy, we can feel inferior, we can feel, oh, that thing. Just observe. Don't give it a shit. You are mixing an authority, you're mixing up the word authority with credibility. Look, all your life you've been conditioned to think of your brain as an authority. It does math for you, helps you to make decisions of things you want to do in life, and it has come to be a tool that have been useful in the way you've been using it. And because of that, you have given it a certain echelon of authority, as if it's your intellect, which is not. Totally different. Brain is not intellect. Intellect and brain are separate. Brain and mind are separate. Brain and you are separate. But you have been using this tool and it's been beneficial to you in most cases in life, helping you to stay away from dangers and make decisions and where to go, what to eat, what to buy. All these processing has made you think as the brain is an authority, and the brain is beyond you, is over you, is your leader, is your teacher, is your master, is your whatever authority of your life. It's not. You are, in fact, the authority of the brain and thoughts and whatever it conjures up. You're supposed to be judging thoughts as it pumped up from the brain, not the other way around, because you're the intellect, brain is a tool. But through your life, you have come to understand or agree or be bamboozled or be convinced that this brain is an authority. However it has happened, that's what we feel, that the brain is an authority. Now, whatever shows up in this authority figure, fictitious authority figure, you think it has credibility because it's coming from authority. Just like these days or any other days, government of a country says something, because it's an authority, they think it also has credibility what they say. It's the truth, it's honest, because it's the authority. We are being conditioned to follow and comply to authority request and to authority figure and stance or stage. And the same kind of a thing has been created in your mind about the brain, that it is an authority. So when it comes up with a thought, you think this comes from an authority, and authority equals to credibility. That's why any bullshit that the governments are spitting out these days, you think it's coming from authority, so it must have credibility. It doesn't. It's two different things. Your brain is the same. It's not an authority, number one. You've been bamboozled to think it is, but you've been conditioned, nevertheless, through your childhood that brain is authority. Now, whatever it shits out, you think, oh, it has credibility. I have to agree with it. So if it tells you that your gender is changed, or a thought or image of such suggestion shows up as Aman is asking here, you think it's coming from authority, which therefore must have credibility. It doesn't. It's just an organ doing its job. Brain makes thoughts. Intestines make shit. So neither one have any authority. They're just doing their job. If you look at them as they are, then you wouldn't be impressed by anything that they spit out. You just say they're doing their job, but I, and only I, am the one who judges the quality and usefulness of this information or this suggestion or this thought or this image. And I, and only I, am the one who decides if it's useful or should be let go, ignored, and let it fall by the wayside. That's how you deal with it. Otherwise, you're constantly thinking and mixing up the authority figure that you have created in your head by mistake, but nevertheless is there, with credibility. And if you pay attention to that, then you will not, Aman, be bothered with what it is that you say. I'm feeling this, depersonalization, derealization, and feeling like I'm going insane when I think I let my gay behavior happen. Then I feel like I forgot my original behavior, and having fear of losing sanity due to depersonalization. So these are all thoughts that you give it label and conclusion, and now you're dealing with the meaning of that label that you gave to the thought. Don't look at thought for a thought, a debris in the breeze, passing by. Don't give it any kind of a label, then you'll be going to deal with the meaning of that conclusion. So in here, something shows, okay, you behaved that, okay, you behaved that. As I said, when I was much younger, I had in the horseback riding club and the team or training that we had. There was this friend of ours, and he always seemed acting like he was normal, natural way, and he was a boy like every one of us. He liked he was a heterosexual. He liked girls, but his tone of voice, his behavior, his way of talking, his way of behaving, moving, or moving his hands or his gestures were a little bit on the feminine side. But he was not gay, and he was not any different than any one of us. But that is how his structure was. That is how his natural balance was. That's what was him about, but had nothing to do with his gender. So don't nitpick that, oh, I behave this way, that means something. It means nothing. Whatever, however you behave, you are who you have always been, who you want to be, who you prefer to be. It has nothing to do with who you are, the way you behave in certain way. Don't interpret it. That's how you behave. Or what? It's like saying, okay, I scratch my ass, so that means what? I wanted to touch my ass. No, I scratch it. I felt like doing this, but you don't question your nose. Oh, I touch my nose means something. But and then the word comes out, or you behave and maybe a little bit feminine on a certain case with your emotion or your whatever, and then you interpret it. Oh, that was feminine. No, that was an emotion. You give it a label, then you're dealing with the femininity. Am I feminine? Am I heterosexual? Am I not heterosexual? No, that's how you felt. You sneezed. What does that mean? I sneezed. Now you want to make interpret. Oh, maybe I'm having a cold. Maybe if this. Maybe if that. Now you're dealing with the conclusion rather than it was a sneeze. So same thing. However you behave, however you have, you feel like behaving, that's you. It doesn't have anything to do with the interpretation or conclusion of anything, and then go, oh my goodness, what does that mean? Considering the frameworks that we have, forget that. Live your life. And don't interpret things, and just observe things, and just go about your business. Enjoy your life. I hope that made sense to you. All right. Alexander says, hello, Meran. I want to thank you for your help to every one of us. You're quite welcome, Alexandra. Glad for you to be here. Says, if you can really need to understand how to break my repeating, obsessing thinking, who causes me much stress and bad feeling. Oh, what happened? Did I lose some part? If you can, I really need to understand how to break my repeating, obsessing thinking, which causes me much stress and bad feeling. Yeah, well, look, thoughts are like heartbeat. You can't get rid of them because it's not up to you. You're not responsible to making thoughts. There are certain times that you use the apparatus of the brain to calculate something, to learn something, to accomplish something, to design something, to produce something. That's your thinking. You're picking out certain information from the consciousness, and you use it to serve you for bettering your life or fulfilling whatever it is that you've set out to accomplish on that day. But when you're not using the brain, and at the same time that you're using the brain sometimes, the brain itself using that apparatus as well to make thoughts, because its job is to make thoughts, not necessarily when you use it, but its job is 24/7 to make thoughts. It's like heartbeat. It just beats to keep you alive. Brain is constantly processing. It's a security system, it's a figuring out system, it's watching your back system, and then at the same time malfunctioning system. Then you, while it's malfunctioning, you do not focus on the fact that it's malfunctioning. You take it as a synchronized, calibrated machine that is just doing and saying all facts. Is not true. Brain is not factual. Brain is just a processing machine that gets all the information that seeps through the system, through whatever medium is out there. Information is floating in the world, all kinds of it, on TV, on internet, on cinemas, on publications, on billboards, and everywhere else, on radio, and so on. And it seeps through into consciousness, and consciousness holds it there, and the brain catches on to all these informations and makes thoughts. Why? First of all, because that's job. It's like a system that is supposed to make thoughts, to give you all kind of options of possibilities, so you choose. But it doesn't do the choosing, and when it does, you're not supposed to accept any of its choosing because it has no intellect. It's just a machine, spits out thoughts. You, on the other hand, are the only one who has the authority to judge these thoughts, suggestions, and images. You have to understand your role in this entity is not to listen to the brain. Your role is to judge, supervise the brain. You're the quality control, and you diss them, ignore them, what doesn't meet your values and what doesn't meet with the standards of the quality of this product that is supposed to be made. Thoughts that are useful to you, like a manufacturing plant that makes products, and if those products do not meet the standards set out by the quality control department, those products at assembly lines are rejected, thrown out by the quality control department. Now you are the quality control department, you are the master. You see these thoughts being produced and you diss them, ignore them, and you go on, because the brain makes thought because it's its job, and brain makes thoughts because it's possible. Brain doesn't make thoughts because it's in line with your values, or you agree with it, or it defines you, or it's it meets your standards. Brain doesn't consult with you to make thoughts. It makes thoughts because it's possible to make such thoughts in this world. Brain is about making things if it's possible to be made. If it's possible to exist in the world, it's possible for the brain to make thought out of that topic, whatever it is. But it's got nothing to do with your interest, your inclination. It doesn't have to be, and it does not necessarily meet your standards, your inclinations, your values. It doesn't line up with your values. It's just making thoughts. It's not representation of your beliefs, your understanding, what you are, what you're made out of. It's brain doing the job. Brain is not your agent. Brain is not representation of you. Brain is a separate, independent system. It's doing its job, making thoughts just because it's possible, not because it's relevant to you. If you understand this, then half of the matter is done, and you're on your way to have a free life, free from thoughts and free from bullshit. And you stop thinking about the brain as an credible source and stop thinking about it as an authority, which you've been conditioned, all of us have been conditioned to think about the brain as an authority. And then we mix up the authority with credibility. What comes out of the mouth of what we have accepted to be authority sounds as if it has credibility too. No, they don't go hand in hand. Look at all the governments in the world. They're authorities, but they're full of shit, all of them. They lie, they cheat, you know that. Right now we are in it. We don't know what the truth is. Why? Because we have been awakened. That we now know not necessarily authority equals credibility. We've learned that. How? These centers of authority have proven to us that they are full of shit. They lie. They make mistakes purposely. They look at it as a mistake when they get caught. Same thing with the brain. Brain has no intention to do anything that would be purposely against you. It just doesn't have the intellect to know that this is not lined up with your values. And its job and mandate is to make thoughts. So it does what it's designed to do, but it's got no understanding what it is that it's doing, against what it is, against what values. It just makes thought because it's possible to make thoughts. So don't interpret thoughts as any notion of representation of you or identifying you with it. It's just making thoughts. Can you understand this? Then you will be free. You will be free from all the bullshit and intrusive thoughts shows up in your head. Whatever your gender is, we all have intrusive thoughts. And those intrusive thoughts are always opposite of what you are. And on that note, then you rest assured and relax and live your life free from thoughts and free from nonsense of the brain. All right. Slobodan says, it's really impossible what HOCD actually is. One day felt like full straight with my libido for girls working well without any groinal or impulse. And the next day I feel full gay with a lot of groinal and impulses. Will be a hard battle. All it is, again, because you are interpreting what the brain does. Don't. Just don't. Just live your life. You live with your vetoes and your choices. That's what defines you. Not what suggestions, images, or thoughts showing up in your head. You are not thoughts, suggestions, or images that the brain produces. You are your vetoes and your choices. If you understand this and have that in your mind, then it doesn't matter what shows up in your brain and any of its suggestions, images, or thoughts. All right. And Breathe Through says, hello, Marin. Hello there. And we have Breathe Through says, Male 31 India. Thank you for that. We have Luna. Luna is here. It says, hello, Marin John. Salam, Luna John. This is warm greetings from Chile, London. Oh, is it Chile? I missed you. Well, I missed you too, dear. Where have you been? You haven't been around for, I guess, a couple of weeks, is it? Or one? Female 36 UK. Thank you for that. And Luna says, Kaifak al-yum and tamam, shukran. So I'm getting a little good at it, remembering it at least. It says, Happy Nowruz. How do you spell it? Nowruz. That's fine. It's N-O, means no, means new. No in Farsi means new. And Ruz means day. So Nowruz, new day. And that's fine. Some people spell it N-O-W as you did, R-O-O-Z. I spell it N-O-R-O-Z. N-O-R-O-O-Z, Nowruz. Some people spell it N-O-W-R-O-U-Z. However, Nowruz, that's the pronunciation. And thank you for that. And happy Nowruz to you too as well. To you too as well. I mean, to you as well. To you too. To you as well as well. All right, let's see. And let's see if this year is going to be a little bit better, a lot better than last year. And Ligani says, Meran, my girl and I are on a break and we are in a long distance relationship. Ouch. Long distance is already long distance. Now give it a break as well. That's a break for something that is actually already, it's got a long distance between the two. There's a break already in there. And he says, I feel the need to check my phone to see if she texts, yet she hasn't. How do I stop this weak behavior by my brain? Well, because you're thinking about her and this relationship as a success, as a solution to your challenges in life. You're thinking about it as an accomplishment. You're thinking about it as if you have it, your identity, your credentials will change. None of that is true. That person is another human being and you're looking at her with the eye of desire for intimacy and feeling good and filling out the pains and the challenges that you meet on your daily routine. But it's got nothing to do with being solution to anything in your life. It's pleasure. It makes you feel good, makes you feel supported, makes you feel I have something. Because I've got pretty much nothing in this world, but I have a girlfriend that fulfills my desire of intimacy, holding her and exchanging energy, and that gives you a certain security. And that security makes you feel like as if you have created an environment of success, happiness, because I have something. Now, if you realize, even if you have that something, everything else that needs to be taken care of must still be attended to and taken care of. So this, as much as it feels good, it's no solution to your life. It's not going to do anything other than being what it is on its own, a relationship, nothing more. But you're thinking that this relationship can replace, I don't know, the study that you should do, the project you got to do in your job, the money you need for rent, the stuff that is missing in your life, the things that are not happening with you, that this, you're using it as a remedy to cure everything else that is wrong. That's why this becomes so important, because it seems to be the remedy to everything else that I haven't accomplished and I have a problem with it, and the challenges are giving me a hard time. When you consider something, some one thing, to be the remedy to cure and perhaps make you comfortable about all the other things that are going wrong or need your attention to be dealt with, then that thing becomes so important that the thought of not having it becomes so amazingly affecting you that you will be so eager to know, oh, if I have this, because these other things are all in danger and not complete, and I've got problems with it, but let me have this because this could be smoothing my pain over everything else. Then seems like this is the remedy for everything else that is not working. So you give that kind of echelon of power and importance to it, and then you constantly think about your text. Did she do it? Did she text? Who is she? What is she all about? What is her capabilities? Has she figured out all these things that you're trying to cover up with the power of relationship, pleasure in the relationship? Has she not have any problem with rent and studies and projects? Is she successful? Has she done all these amazing things in the world that you're now taking her to be the solution to your problems? My suggestion, when you focus on your challenges in life, head on. My studies, my work, my projects, I have to accomplish this, I have to accomplish that. Take care of your business, take care of your life. When they are all taken care of, they're all in the row, the relationship becomes just what it is, a relationship. Its importance would be as much as it's worth, not more. You're not paying too much for what it's worth. It's like you want to go get, I don't know, some suit you want to buy or a hamburger or whatever it is, and they ask you, you got to pay $5,000. What for? A hamburger? Because that hamburger has turned into be the solution of everything else. Everything else is not going well, but that hamburger makes me feel good. So I got to have that to feel good, because I can't feel good from anything else. Nothing else is going wrong. So go fix all those other things that are not right. Then you wouldn't be thinking about her so much, because she would just be a relationship. She's not the solution. Through pleasure, you're trying to create solution for all the things that are missing in your life. Go fix all those things that needs your attention in your life, then she will become just that, relationship. Right now, you look at her as a solution to your life. That's why it's so important, and you don't want to miss her, and you're looking for the text. What if she doesn't text me? What if I don't? What if she break up? Who cares? When you can deal with your own challenges, you can take care of your own and accomplish all you need to accomplish on your own, then you wouldn't be relying on your pleasure to make you feel good, when accomplishing all these other tasks will make you feel good on their own, independently. So in other words, take that value that you have bestowed upon her away if she's not qualified, and nobody is qualified to be representing the solution to all other stuff that you're supposed to accomplish in life. So take that away from her, then you look at her as a person. What has she accomplished? What does she bring to my life? What does she do? Is she loyal to this relationship? If she's not, why should I be caring about if she's texting me or not? And the texting would just make you feel good. Oh, I'm good, so I don't have to do anything. No, get off your ass and go accomplish your task in life. And make your life work, become successful, and then you would not be thinking that, oh, she's more important than all the other things that I've accomplished. But when you have accomplished all the other things and many other things, and you know how to live your life and take care of things and bring balance to your life, then she will be part of it, not more than what she is. Then you will be having a balance in your life. Relationship, your studies, your job, your advancements, your developments, and all the other things you want to create, and it would be kind of reaching the homeostasis. kind of, so to speak. All right, having said that, Elijah says, hello, Mehran. I feel nauseated all the time because of HOCD. Is there any way I can get rid of this? Also, I just wanted to thank you for all the videos you uploaded too. It's really helped my HOCD. Yes, those videos have been made with kindness, thoughtfulness, and feeling your pain and hoping that it will create understanding of the role of your brain in all these things, and you will be facing the fact that these are all fictitious imagination, imaginative and production of the brain, and is irrelevant to you. But as I said, because the brain has established to be in your mind as an authority, then whatever it conjures up seems to be having credibility. But credibility, factuality of anything has nothing to do with the authority echelon that you might have been given to something. And we've discussed that just a few minutes ago, that when you stop mixing up authority with credibility and you'll focus on the quality of the information or suggestion on its own, not where it's coming from, that where it's coming from has a certain kind of a authority implanted in your head that, oh, that's a credible place, it's an authority, like, so what it says is correct, is truth. It's like thinking that a policeman, whatever they tell you is the truth. No, it's an authority, but it's a human being, it's full of shit as the rest of us. So you gotta always weigh it as what it is, not where it's coming from. Otherwise, who would care about any research? Oh, the king have said that. That's an authority. So it must have credibility. No, it doesn't. Kings is another piece of shit who is simply, what? Is an authority. Or some places prime minister or a president or a politician. These are all authorities, but it doesn't mean they've done the research. For a certain research, you got to go to the researcher. A surgeon or a neuroscientist or a biologist or whoever. They could be closer to the meaning of the credibility and authority. But if you just take any authority and equals credibility, whatever comes out of their mouth is bullshit, nonsense. All right. So, watch the two playlists that I have. Intrusive, transient, OCD, HOCD, negative thoughts is one that interprets the thoughts. It talks in detail about interpretations of all these thoughts and where thought comes from. What is the relationship between thoughts and consciousness? Why mind and why brain is so powerful, and what is its effect on the mind, and what is its effect on you as bamboozling you to certain conclusions when it conjures up stuff. And of course, whatever else I was saying, I forgot. So let me just have tea, maybe I'll. So, lost the train of thoughts. Oh yeah, and then it interprets about the all these meanings and talks about how powerful the brain is and why it's capable to make a reaction in your body, and that playlist discusses that sort of topics and discussions. And then there's another playlist called Intrusive OCD, HOCD short videos, and again, they're not short, but they're interesting, and they are very interesting because it's focusing only on the separation of brain, thoughts, and you. What is you? And how you can tell the difference, tell them apart, brain and you, how to see it. And I've got really nice videos. I worked hard on them to figure it out and be able to deliver it to you guys. And if you watch it, it's based on quantum physics experiments in the laboratories, based on neuroscientists of disgusting, based on research of Dr. Egnar about the researchers of Nobel Prize echelon researchers and surgeons such as Dr. Speary, Dr. Penfield, Dr. Owen, Dr. Libet, and these are very important experiences that have been done to show the separation between brain and you. That the brain is not intellect, that the brain is not you, that you are on top, and brain is a tool mounted on your body to serve you as a servant, as a calculator. You are not. You are the judge. You're the intellect. These videos, and that particular video in that playlist is called Are You or the Brain Is the You? And you need to watch that. So those videos will be helpful, plus our conversations. And anybody else who wants to feel that there's an issue about their relationships, breakups, or their OCD, or some kind of a discussion about HOCD and whatnot, you're more than welcome to go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com, and make an appointment on Skype. And for the ones who make an appointment for 1 hour and they're new clients, I will add another hour. So we'll have 2 hours in that first session with plenty of time to get to know the topic and explore it together, one-on-one on Skype. And of course, the books, you can pick up the Me, My Psyche, and I, which talks about the psyche, thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, how we're put together, meditation, and all many other things that is important to understand how we tick, how our psyche ticks, and the movement of our psyche. You can pick it up as an ebook, very nominal. I put the price in such a way that everybody could afford it, because I wanted everybody to have a copy of that book. And the print version is available too, but that's like 10 times more expensive, and the shipping is included, so it's costly. But I'll sign it, send it to you, whoever wants it. And however I prefer, I suggest it's much less expensive to get the ebook, and you get it right away. And if you have any problem with the download link, just don't panic. Send me an email and I will send it to you by your email's address. So, having said that, let's move on. Bubando says, hi Miran, 28 male UK. Hello Bubando. Says, do you believe in the law of attraction, like the more you let go, the more you receive, wealth, relationship, health, etc.? Well, what kind of a thing is it? The more you let go, the more you receive. I got to see what I have and how much of it I can let go. What if I have like $10 and let the $10 go? Well, am I going to go hungry tonight? You got to be reasonable. This law of attraction bullshit is taking over the world, and people think, oh, I got to do this to get... No. Law of attraction simply means you put your mind to it, but then back it up with plans and actions and efforts, and then you can't fucking get anything by just saying, oh, I want hamburger, 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 hamburger. Then you got hamburger here. No, you still got to get off your ass, go to the store, buy the meat, buy the vegetable, buy the bun, come here, clean it up, wash it, cook it, and then eat it. Intention, planning, plus efforts, then you can get closer to the result you're looking for. Otherwise, intention. I want a girlfriend. I want a really girl. You got to get off your ass, go out and socialize, which can't be done these days. So, no law of attraction today, at least, these days. All right. Emmanuel says, hello, Maran. Hello, Emmanuel, male 28 Boston. Thank you for that. And Emmanuel says, you probably believe in levitation. What do you think causes levitation of human body? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Bubando says, guys, make sure you like the live stream. That's a very good suggestion. I would respect that suggestion. And for heaven's sake, there are 18 of us here only but there's only 12 likes. The rest of you don't like it. What are you doing here if you don't like it? God damn it. Quickly, get out those butterfingers to that link thingy, what is it, like thingy, and click on it. It's not so hard. All right. Let's see what we have here. And I'm still in awe. Why is it after 1 week we only have 17 people here? What's wrong with you guys? If you guys don't, I mean, really honestly, people can't find my channel still. I mean, you have a hard time to be noticed. I don't know why. Our content is second to none, isn't it? It's pretty good content, isn't it? I know it is. I'm biased. All right. Aman says, I'm not getting doctor, or maybe I'll not get it for, or maybe if I get then they could be expensive. What should I do now if I can't have a doctor? There must be systems in your medical systems in your country that could cover some therapists or doctors or psychologists or psychotherapists. In the meantime, below in the description of all my videos in regards to OCD, HOCD, there are links of famous doctors in the world, such as Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Weiner, and these are, and many other therapists that are not psychologists, but they are therapists, and they're included in those links. You may want to reach out to them and you know, see what their fees are. But if it's the expense of it that you're, you know, concerned about, then, you know, watch the links of all these famous doctors that I included in the description of my videos, and learn from their talks and discussions, such as, again, Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Weiner. The links are there, so educate yourself. Educate yourself and understand the separation of brain and you, and therefore you understand these thoughts are just, that's what they are, thoughts, not facts. And you live by your veto and choices. You're defined by your veto and choices, not by thoughts or suggestions that appear in your head. Barney Stone. Barney. Is that about filling stones? Barney and Rubble? So I recently left an asexual, on her terms, relationship around 2 weeks ago. She ghosted me to go back to her ex and is now in a sexual relationship. It hurts me as I feel discarded, unattractive. No, you probably were too available and you didn't give her any reason to desire you by being like a doormat, because you wanted sex so badly and it was on her term and she knew it. And when the girl know that, you know, they can have you anytime they want, you're not a challenge, they usually lose interest, because women are no different than any, you know, men. They all, some have confidence, some don't have much confidence, and they got to work on that. So when they don't have much confidence, if you're too available to them, they wonder, why is he so available to me? If he's so available to me, he must not be that worthy. He must not be that much for me to kind of, you know. So she saw you as someone who was too thirsty for what she had to offer, and therefore the price went up. And she wanted somebody who was not interested in her, because then she thought, oh, then I'm worth something, because someone who's not interested in me, I got him to be interested. That's the mentality of some women. And that's pretty much works the other way around too. When a guy likes a girl and the girl is too available, the guy loses interest and looking for the ones that he doesn't have. But when the girl starts, kind of playing a little bit, unreachable, and suddenly the guy says, oh, that girl that I can't have, maybe is the one that is going to give me more value about myself in my own mind. But this one that is available to me, even though she might be prettier, but so it's all about sometimes how manipulative they are to your brain, to your mind, and who plays the role better. It's like marketing. So you were too available. Obviously, she thought, oh, well, I got this one in the bag, so I'll go for the other one that is not paying attention. Suddenly, So don't judge yourself based on who likes you, who didn't like you, who went to bed with you, who didn't want to go to bed with you. That's bullshit. Your worth and value is the same whether she slept with you or she didn't. So in other words, whoever she chooses to sleep with, that person is really valuable in life. And the ones that she doesn't choose to be with, they're devaluated. Yeah. So she's actually the coin setting the value of people, right? What the hell does that mean? Where did she come from? What has she accomplished to have such authority? So what do we go and educate or advance ourselves? All we have to do is just to, hope that she would sleep with us, and then suddenly we have elevated ourselves. What kind of nonsense is that? So if she doesn't want to be with you, doesn't take any values from you, and if she does want to be with you, doesn't make you elevated in value, you still got to call your own shot and go accomplish and learn and educate yourself, and then that is where your value is. Not in sleeping with her, not sleeping with her. So all these other guys who can't get a girlfriend, they've got no worth and value, no accomplishment, no education, no ability to accomplish it. That's not true. All right. Aman says, my original behavior never been like gayish or feminine. It happened after HOCD. I'm worried and afraid if my original behavior won't come back, which wasn't gayish. Listen, your original behavior won't come back. You're talking about like if it's some kind of you command it, you design it, you choose it. Your veto of what you don't like to be and your choice of what you prefer to be is how you train your brain. The brain has gone off of its rail, it's gone rogue, it's malfunctioning. So you got to retrain it. It doesn't mean whatever the brain does, that means that's what it is. No, brain is malleable. You train it. When it goes, it's like any soccer player or something. If it doesn't play well, the coach helps it to bring back the level of expertise and the play that it had in the other games. But for many reasons, sometimes the knee hurts, or sometimes it doesn't have the energy, sometimes something has changed. It needs to be retrained and strengthened in that part so it will become rewired in that behavior. So when you keep doubting yourself and focusing, this is, as if the brain should decide for you what gender you are, then you will have been helping the brain to rewire itself toward what you don't want it to be. So you train your brain by believing that you are the master trainer. You are the one responsible to train the brain to think the way you want it to think, to behave and be there as a servant to comply with your orders and how you want it to proceed. You are the machine. Don't allow the brain to drive your machine. You are the driver. The brain is one, maybe a signal or the light or some kind of switch that is there that you're supposed to program it to what that switch does when it's pushed. You do not allow the brain to dictate to you what you are, what you should be, how you should be behaving. You decide based on your vetoes and choices. What it is you don't like, you do not behave that way. What you do like, you focus on behaving that way. You train yourself You command the behavior, and in this way, through neuroplasticity, you rewire the brain, you retrain the brain to do as you wish. Not you wonder, what should I do? The brain says this. Fuck the brain. The brain is not intellect. The brain is a stranger. The brain is not you. The brain is a tool. Do you understand this? If you are clear on this, then you will be having your life, your direction, your choices, and your gender, your inclination as it's always been, as you prefer it to be, and you will train the brain to see what it is that you see, and you know who you are. Not you follow what the brain sees. The brain is stupid. It's dumb shit. Brain is not intellect. Cannot reach who you are. You watch the program that Dr. Ignar did, which I have made that video based on his explanation. Are you or the brain is the you? Then you will see what I'm talking about. There are aspects of you that the brain cannot reach. Brain is not you. You're not the brain. Brain is not intellect. So treat it that way. As a subordinate to be trained. Your whole life is supposed to be spent on understanding the separation between brain, thoughts, and you train the brain. If you understand this, then you're fine. Focus on that. Brain does not have credibility. It's not a credible, it's not representation of you. It's a tool. Don't be fooled by it. All right. Vish says, sir, I need your help. I'm going through a lot. My girlfriend is Christian and I am Hindu. So my family is totally agree with, but her family want me to convert. I am harming myself a lot. I need your help. Please help me. Well, listen, you can help yourself by understanding, why would I be part of a family who's stupid? That they actually think the religion that you have defines the humanity that you have. How many people do we know in the world that are Christians, or they're Muslims, or they're Jews, or they are of any other, they're Buddhist, or they're Baha'i, or they're any other inclination, and they're amazing, wonderful people. And how many do we know that they are of different kind of religions that we talked about, and they're stupid bastards like you've never seen them before? So you can see belonging to a certain religion doesn't guarantee the humanity of that person. It's a flag, it's a blanket that they cover themselves. They go under the blanket, hide their behaviors and bad intentions and behaviors based on covering themselves in the blanket of a religion. So they're abusing the religion. They're using the good name of the religion, whether it's Islam or Christianity or Judaism or whatnot. They use these names to cover their bad behavior. But they're still a bad person. But they're using the religions to represent themselves as, I am this mask. But underneath the mask, they're the same shit that they've always been. So it really does, and there's some people who have no religion, or they have any of these religions that we named up, and they're amazing people whether they were religious or not, because their behavior is not really determined by the religions. The behavior is determined by their mentality and their common sense and their humanity and compassion. So if a family is actually thinking, if you're Christian, then you're good. If you're Muslim, then you're bad. If you're Muslim, then you're good. If you're Christian, it's about fucking bullshit. So, if a family is stupid enough to think that your religion is the level of your humanity, then why is there so many other people of the same religion who are bad people? Why aren't they all good? Don't we have any bad people in Christianity or Judaism or Islam? They're all good? Or all people from all these religions are bad? No, there are many good ones, right? So it's not the religion that makes you good or bad. It's really your humanity. So if they cannot see that, then that's not a family you want to be in. If she cannot say anything about it, then fuck. Do you think the world stops if you don't have her? There's many other women out there, wonderful, beautiful. Who gives a shit if they are this religion or that religion? If they're human, have the humanity and they're good people, you live a life. You build a life with them. It doesn't have to be this one. Because this one may be good in many things, but obviously is not in control of her family and is not in control of herself and is just thinking about, oh, religion is what makes a person to be. So you as a good, wonderful person who want to dedicate yourself to this woman, for what reason, I don't know. So you're no good, but just because another fellow is Christian or Muslim or Jew or whatever religion that it is she's preferring, then suddenly that means that person is going to be a good husband for her. What the fuck is that? That's a very stupid way of believing. So you gotta wake up and smell the coffee. This is the beginning of this journey, and to begin with, it's starting in the wrong foot. So you think you need help because you want this woman no matter what. But you understand that if she's not working as hard as you are to make this work and convince her parents or whatnot, it's not worth going through all that trouble for what? Convert. All religions are good and all religions are bad depending on how you use it. But convert. What are you going to do tomorrow? Wear your pants backward because they say so? No. You're Hindu, or you're Christian, or you're Jewish, or you're Muslim, whatever you are. But you're bringing your humanity in this relationship. If they appreciate it, respect it, and that's important to them, well, it should be, because that's all it's left. All these labels of religions and political affiliation, all that is bullshit. These are all words. Come and go. But what is in your heart? What is the humanity? How are you guys going to treat each other? What efforts you going to make? The religion is not going to help you. Every religion is trying to do their best to encourage you and motivate you. But that alone, believing in something, is just sitting like and thinking hamburger. No, you got to get off your ass and go get the ingredients, make the hamburger. Same thing. Oh, I'm religious, I'm a good person, so bring your money, success. No, you got to get off your ass and go do things and accomplish. So this religion business is not going to determine your humanity. It's just going to determine which way you're bowing. That's all. If they don't understand that, move on. Next girl. Don't think of it as a solution to your life. You can love another woman just as much. Don't be fooled. All right. User 22. Good evening. Good evening, User 22. And Hater X. Hater X. Okay, whatever. Says hello, male 17 UK. Hello there. I am doing very well in recovery, but having trouble with something in HOCD. HOCD don't have trouble. All of it is trouble. So you're saying having trouble with HOCD? Yeah, of course. It says my brain is having this weird feeling that there is a you know what in my mouth. What do I do? Nothing. Let it be. Because it's all just fictitious. It's an idea. Yeah, that's what HOCD is. It attacks you with what you're not interested in. It attacks you with what you're not. It is disgusting to the ones who are not of that gender that it's suggesting them to be. To all genders, whatever gender you are, HOCD attacks you with what you're not, the opposite of what you are. And that's disgusting to you, or that's nasty to you. And that's how it is. But let it be. It doesn't matter. Don't be afraid of it. Oh, I have to destroy it. I have to get that image out of my mind. No, you don't. You don't. Just let it. It's like saying, oh, I have to put a filter through the air, that every air that passes through my window must be filtered so there's no debris in it. No, they're there. We have filters through our nose. It goes in, it doesn't go in. So these thoughts can come to your head. Just don't pay attention. That's a filter. Don't pay attention to the source, not to what it's showing. Focus on the source. Where is it coming from? The brain. What's the brain? It's bullshit. It's got no credibility. It's gone malfunctioning. Its signaling system is not working. Caudate nucleus is not doing its job to shut off the intrusive thoughts. That's what you focus on not what, oh, that thought, that image is my head, that it means something. No. No. It could imagine all kinds of things. Because what? Because the brain can imagine things. But what it imagines doesn't mean it's factuality, truth, or has anything to do with you or your values or your inclination. It just does because it's possible to imagine. Its job is to make thoughts and imagine. That's what it does. And when it goes rogues, it imagines things when it's not supposed to, because caudate nucleus is not shutting it down to say, hey, be quiet. You can make all kinds of images, but these images are not interesting here. And you should stop making images, because he wants to use you for other things, like doing calculations or doing other things, or just shut up. He wants to go and enjoy a workout in the gym or whatever. These innuendos and these sexual images and all that is because brain is just gone overactive and is malfunctioning in its behavior, but it's not defining you. It's its own thoughts, brain's thoughts, not your thoughts. There's a difference. Just because it's mounted on your head doesn't mean it's your thoughts and your inclination or your interest. It's like another person is standing here and says shit or eats all kind of junk that it finds in the market, but that's a separate entity doing what it does. It doesn't define you just because it's standing right beside you. The brain is the same. It's standing right beside you, a little bit closer. It's mounted on your head, but it's still a separate system. It does its own thing. It's irrelevant to you. You understand this? Just because it's mounted on your head doesn't mean it's you. It's a machine mounted on your head that is malfunctioning. That's all. It's not doing its job as it's supposed to. It's just doing a little too much. Just relax. I got it. I'm not in danger. It's trying to protect you with all kind of weird things. But you can say, okay, relax. I got it. I'm aware of what you're trying to alarm me with. That's it. That's all. That's trying to alarm you. And it's gone rogue and malfunction. Don't pay attention to it. Your vetoes and your choices. That's all you need to know. The rest of it, I walk in the street, so many people could be engaged in so many things that I'm not interested, or could be calling me or saying some things that it's not complimentary to me. So what am I supposed to do? Listen to it? No. I hear one ear and don't pay attention to it, go about my business. That's how you deal with it. Same thing. Brain says things, don't give a shit. Go on, do your own life. In fact, Emmanuel is telling Vish to look at the video that I have. Let me find that video for you. I thought you've already watched it. Vish. If you haven't, here's the Here's the video. A Hindu man, Christian girl. You might enjoy watching this. There it is. There's for you. So that's the link for you, Bish. Maybe you want to watch it. That's what Emmanuel is referring to. But I thought you had watched it. That's why I didn't bring it up. Everything says, hello, I am Shahrukh from India. Hello, Shahrukh. Don't tell me you're Shah Rukh Khan. Actually, Shah Rukh Khan is one of my favorite Indian actors. He plays well, and his movies have been entertaining sometimes when I used to watch them. And so it says, hello, I'm Shah Rukh from India. You are sharing very good content, and thank you for help people. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Guys, don't forget to promote this channel on your social media. And I've always encouraged you to help this channel to grow by encouraging your circle of contacts, or circle of friends or social circles to know about this channel. And I have this 1 minute and 47-second video that tells about our live talks and what we talk about, which here's the link I put in here. Please share this 1 minute and 47-second video on your social media and let people know that we have a live talk on Saturdays, 1 p.m. Vancouver time, and again 9 p.m. Vancouver time. So from all around the world, different zones, time zones, they can come in and ask the questions that we have discussions right here. So please help this channel to get, look guys, you enjoy this channel and you think and you say it 1,000 times, and I've had thousands of comments about how good the content of this channel is. Look, don't be selfish. Let others know it too. In other words, circulate it. Let people know. Nobody's finding us. It's a sea of YouTube channels, 30, 40 million, I don't know, if not more. We can hardly be found. And we are a genuine channel with genuine content. We don't have any hooplas and hanky-pankies. I don't know, perhaps that's why we are not found. And all our contents are worthy, whether it's about OCD, HOCD, mental issues, whether it's about relationships, breakups, and thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, all these, what the movement of the psyche is. We have it on this channel. Over 2,300 videos, over 2,000 videos. Please help this channel to grow. If you guys don't, this channel is gonna, look, if you want more of my time to be able to be dedicated to this, and so I won't be, taking a little bit of time from other things that I have to do to, do what I want to accomplish in this life, then make this channel known however you can. Advertise it, promote it here and there. Make people know in your social media, and then we'll get somewhere. Then I can share a lot more of my time and my know-how that I can share with you a lot more than here. Maybe eventually the world gets back to its right fit. Then we will have enough finances because of the number of viewers that we have, and the channel makes money, and I can travel and put workshops, and then we can train on a weekend on a lot more than we can be talking here. So anyhow, I'd appreciate it if you would do that. And Luna says, I know it's been too long as the workload has piled on. I'm doing a foundation level course in art therapy and loving every moment. Oh, wonderful. Good. Well, as long as you're enjoying and you're accomplishing what you set out to accomplish, more power to you. Yeah, you just join us whenever you can. That's fine. We're happy that you're here. Chester is here, says male 27 Hawaii. Aloha, Chester. Says, aloha, Mehran. How are you? I'm currently working right now, but I will try and make it to your next live stream. Mahalo. Okay, wonderful. Always good to hear from Hawaii. And Chester, good of you to join us for a moment, and hope you have a wonderful day at your work, and hopefully we'll talk to you later tonight. The column says, I've always been heterosexual and sexually attracted to women, and this morning I imagined having a girlfriend in bed, So I know whatever thoughts appear can't change me. Yeah, it can't. It just distracts you, disturbs you, bothers you. But you remember, you are not thoughts in your head. You are not suggestions or images that shows up, pops up in your head. You are your vetoes, preferences, and choices. That is what all you need to rely on and to know. That you can give life or take life away from any thoughts, suggestions, or ideas that shows up, pops up, or images that pops up in your head. Nothing else. Just because it showed up, it popped up, images shown up in your head, or thoughts and ideas, suggestions popped up in your head, that doesn't mean it has anything, any chance to become any actuality. The only thing, the only person that can give any life or take life away from thoughts, images, and suggestions is your vetoes and choices. So you're safe all the time. So through this behavior, you rewire your brain until it eventually learns that you're not scared of this and you don't give a shit. You don't try to destroy it, fight it, discuss it, data hunt it. You just notice it and let it fall by the wayside. And you go on about your business. You do whatever it is that you choose to do. And eventually this behavior rewires the brain to notice that these sort of thoughts and images and suggestions are not welcome here. They're not entertained here. They're not interacted with here. So it'll learn to not make so much of it. And when it does, you know what it is. And then eventually it dissipates. The more you understand that the brain is not credible, the more you understand that it's a separate system than you, the more you understand that the brain is not intellect, the more you understand that the brain is not you, and what it conjures up, the thoughts, are not representation of you or your identity, then the more you understand you're free and you cannot be endangered or threatened or bothered by these thoughts or anything, because you're the only power that can take life or give life to these thoughts. And your choices and vetoes is what the real power is, not the thoughts, images, or suggestions that show up in your head. All right. Stephen is here saying, hello, Mayor. Oh, Stephen, my goodness, where have you been? Stephen says, male, 40, Los Angeles, and good of you to be here. He says, I'm not sure what has happened, but for the past 3 weeks, I've felt amazing. Ah, you're beginning to recognize your worth and your independence, and that you are not in need of another person to make you whole. She wanted to be with you, not wanted to be with you, whoever, doesn't matter. You have learned your power is within you, not within some source of pleasure. Otherwise, when the source is here, you feel great. When the source is not available, then you don't feel good. You'll be dependent, and your happiness will be dependent on their decisions. Now you're coming to realize that your happiness is dependent on you and only you, and your decisions, and how you feel depends on how you want to feel. All right. So, and he says, I've pulled all my focus and love inwards. I no longer miss that girl or feel even need anyone to be happy. Good for you! My only regret is not loving and respecting my only regret is not loving and respecting myself like I should have. There we go. Want to say thank you for everything. You're quite welcome, Stephen. I'm delighted that you feel this way. Keep it up, because that's the only truth and the only power that you should be relying on and focusing on in life. Otherwise, girls come and go. And if you're a girl, guys come and go. Whatever your relationship is, these relationships come and go. But you are the only one that can bring happiness to yourself, and not reliant on other things to bring happiness to you. Because those other things and other people are focused on bringing happiness to themselves. If you're waiting for them to bring happiness to you, keep on waiting. Because they will be changing their attitude and their choices upon you. Maybe they choose you, they don't choose you. And then you will be going up and down by way of their rhythm of the day. No, you should be going according to your rhythm of the day. And that way, you won't be oscillating too far up and down. That'll be good. Ingledani says, thank you so much, Mary. You're quite welcome. Says, I need to accomplish my goals. Yes, you do. And Pibek says, words of gold. Thank you, sir. You're quite welcome. Promote the channel. God damn it, everyone. If you guys think this is worthy, promote the channel. Please. We need to grow. We're going to, wither and die. I'm telling you. Look at us. Look at us. With as good a quality as you think it is, there's 17 people here. This is Saturday. We're supposed to have 17,000 people here if it was something found, because the content is valuable. We know that. I mean, even I know it. Let alone you. Even I know it. Which means we're just not found. So help us to be found. Promote the channel. Don't just come here and enjoy the apples and the cookies and goodies and sandwiches and then go. No, go. God damn it, you got energy. Also help the others by letting them know there is such a channel. Promote it. I'll put that link in there to promote this channel. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. And Slobodan says, thanks for all help you give us. HOCD wants to destroy my honor and dignity, but nope. There we go. That's my boy. And Slobodan says, wants to make me a girl who wants to go to touch biceps and six packs. What an idiot, really. Well, that's what HOC is about. Strong idiot. Well, yeah, it's a strong because the brain is strong. It has a tremendous power, and if you call its bluff and put it in its place by bringing to your attention and to its attention that you're a fucking brain, you're not me, you have no abilities to make anything come to a factuality or actuality, because I am the only power that can make thoughts to become an action. And if I don't allow it, I won't. So it doesn't matter what you suggest, I'm the power, not you. If you make that clear to yourself and clear it to the brain, then it doesn't matter what suggestion it comes to your head. It makes you think you're this or that, you're a girl, or you're, I don't know, whatever it is, elephant or, cow, or I don't know, pillar, or if you're this gender or that gender, or you're not the gender you've always been or want to be, love to be, none of that would make any difference anymore, because you have created this clear understanding that the brain has got no power. It has the power to annoy you, but doesn't have a power to make any of the thoughts, suggestions, and images come to be an actual or an action or a fact, because you have that power. And it is your vetoes and choices that can give life to anything that the brain conjures up or make it die where it pops up right at the same time. All right. Regain your powers by understanding that you're the master, you're the boss. You're beyond the reach of the brain. That's the truth. And if you watch Dr. Egnar's scientific research through the experiences in neurosurgery, you will see it clear that a brain cannot reach you. The brain is not the intellect, and you are you, and the brain is not you. If you make that clear to yourself, your life would be much smoother and more clear. Clearer. All right. Random Girl says, your content is amazing. You're saving lives, I swear. Well, delighted to hear that, Random Girl. And Random Girl, you left a message on one of my videos. It came to me as an email. So when I clicked on it to go on the video and respond to it, the message wasn't there. Sometimes it happens and I can't help it. It's not something to do from this end. It's just not there. And when I look at it in the message manager, it's not even there either. So I don't know if you retracted it or it deletes sometimes. Sometimes some other people had made a comment and it was deleted, and they thought I did it, and they became a little bit rude and all that, despite the fact that before they actually could see that it was deleted, I had seen that it's in my email, but I don't see it on the video. So I'd gone to their own channel and left a message for them there, explaining to them that it's not there, so I'm putting my explanation here. Yet they didn't spend the time to find it, and they thought that it was deleted on purpose. So if you still want, you can ask it here, and I can discuss it with you. And again, thank you for liking the content, Random Girl and everybody else here. But please, 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 I don't know if I've said it enough. If you guys don't share the videos on this channel that you like, or don't share the link that I put here, which is a little 1 minute 47 seconds promotion on the live streams that we have in form of a video, introduces the live stream. If you don't share that on your social media and wherever else you can share it, like, I don't know, Reddit or any other chat line or whatnot, we will wither and die. People will not see us. We will not make money. We will not be seen, and the channel would not be justified anymore. Don't let that happen. Please promote this channel as best as you can. We could use the subscription and viewers. I've seen channels don't worth shit and they've got 800,000 subscribers, and I'm telling you, you know it yourself what channels they are. You watch them and see they're talking nonsense, but they've got that many. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's Band-Aid. They just say, oh, there, you'll be fine. Do this, text this, and all that. All that. So if you like this channel, promote it. That's all I have to say about that. All right. Mustafa Mahmoud says, I feel no passion after too many unsuccessful relationships. I attracted only to toxic girls, and that makes me lose passion and feel not comfortable around them. What should I do? Well, don't choose these toxic girls. What's wrong with you? You say you're only attracted to these sort of things, and every time you're attracted to these sort of girls, you don't have a good relationship and you have lost your passion now. Why? Because it's like saying, every time I eat shit, I don't like it. Well, stop eating shit. Every time I drink spoiled milk, I throw up. Well, stop drinking spoiled milk. Look at the date of the expiry on the package. And look at the quality of these women. What you're doing, how you're choosing it, your selection process is wrong. You're choosing them based on the aesthetics, their beauty and sexuality. And you want to think that their beauty and sexuality represents the quality of their consciousness, which is where the relationships are made or broke. And without you focusing on the quality of their consciousness, the content of their consciousness, compatibility between the two consciousnesses, how their behavior, how their philosophy of life, how they carry themselves in the society, and what their goals are, what their ambitions are, what their accomplishments are, what their knowledge is, and without considering any of that, you just vote them, yes, they're great, boy, because they got great pair of legs. Oh, wow, look at those boobs. And their nose is pretty, and their eyes is, and their hair, and you just go nuts and you qualify them based on your desire for intimacy. When you do that, you haven't really qualified, you haven't really picked anyone. You're just going after letting your thingy make the decision that your intellect should be making. So in other words, you've allowed someone who's something that is not specialist in that field to make a decision that only a specialist should make. It's like you, I don't know, put a lawyer in a laboratory to do medical tests. What does he know? Maybe he's intelligent in some things, but not intelligent enough to be able to do a test in a certain kind of a medicine, find a cure. So you're letting your desire for intimacy and focusing on the beauty and the figure of the girl to decide for you what the content of her consciousness is, and based on that you choose her to have a relationship with when there is no compatibility there. So you're choosing your desire, who's not specialist for the quality within the consciousness of the girlfriend, to choose the consciousness and the quality of the content of the consciousness of the girlfriend. Well, the desire is not specialized for that. It's like that lawyer doing the doctor's job. You got to focus on checking out the compatibility of your consciousness and her consciousness. What her qualities are, what has she accomplished. And all these should be judged by your intellect, not by your desire for intimacy. The desire starts it, but then your intellect should qualify her. The qualification should not be given to the hands of the desire to take care of it. The qualification of the consciousness and the compatibility between you two should be done by your intellect and your standards, your values, what is in line with your values, what's her lifestyle is like, and all these other things that we talked about. So give the job of a certain, that needs a certain expertise to the expert, not just to your, what. All right. Parsa Akbari, he says, yes, oh, it's in Farsi, you're writing in Farsi. Okay, good. It says, yes, Allah Shah, I had a question. It says, okay, sure. You can write it in English, that's fine, or Farsi, that's okay too. I'll get to your question in a second. I'm just following the rhythm here. I'll be right with you. And Mustafa says, I'm trying to get back and find good one, but my passion's gone. Your passion will come back. You have no idea. When you see the right girl, it just hits you in the head like, oh God, what is this? I'm in love again. So don't worry about that. The passion is there. It's not gone. It's like Austin Power movies, when Fat Bastard had taken his mojo out and he thought all through the movie his mojo is out, and in the end he realized, oh, mojo has been always here. So it's all within you. The passion hasn't gone anywhere. You're just not focusing on it because you're too focused on it. Get your focus away and just live your life. Qualify the girls for who they are, not how they look and all that. And don't look for being interested or passionate about them. And when you see the right qualified girl, you will see the passion has always been there. Hater X says also, what is your religious background? Who cares? Religious background means nothing. I don't want to give you any of that sort because I have no religious background. I'm not religious at all. I believe in the energy of the universe, nature, and being good. Doesn't matter what religion you are. If you're good, you're good. But the religion is not what makes you good. Make you good. You choose whatever you choose, but your choices and vetoes are going to make you the quality of the person you are. Because I know many religious people that they're worth shit. And I know many people who have no religion or different religions, and they're amazing people. So it's not the religion, it's the person, You can, I can put a general's uniform on, but I'm not a general. I can put an Air Force general on, but I can't fly a plane. I mean, I can, but not that kind of plane. But so it's not what you wear that makes you to be who you are. It's really, who you are that gives credibility to what you wear. So in other words, it's not the religion that makes you that wonderful human being. Your humanity is intact regardless of what religion you you follow. So, understand that it is you who gives a good name to religion or bad name. But the religion itself intended for good, but many people abuse it and end up making a bad name for that particular religion. So it's all about you. So take good care of yourself, present yourself well, then you'll present whatever you choose in a different light as well. Vish says, yeah, but she doesn't understand. We have 7-year relationship. She doesn't understand. Let her go. Says, thank you so much. You helped me a lot. God bless you. Hope you're in good health. I'll pray for you always. Thank you very much, Vish. I appreciate that. And when you're not praying for me, which I appreciate it, promote the channel. That's a different kind of praying for me. So we have Alexander Orid says, hi again. For a long time, I've been my attention, my obsession thoughts. Some of them are violent and they are stuck in my mind. Is any tips how to change attention somewhere else to stop their power? They have no power. They have no power. As I said at the beginning of this discussion here today, you're mixing up the authority that have been created in your mind about your brain with credibility of what brain conjures up. Since childhood, you have been using the brain as something that does math for you and helps you make decisions, and you use that tool. And after a while, you've forgotten that it is you who chooses and uses the brain to make decisions, right decisions, and create and accomplish things. It's not the brain that does all these things. You using the brain to bring about these good results, good choices, and this and that, so forth. So after a while, you have now believed it is the brain that makes all decisions that are good for your life. It's not. It is you using the brain to make those choices and not make other choices. But because you've forgotten that, you think the brain is the authority. And if the brain is the authority, you're now allowing the brain's authority, which is established in your mind, falsely, but established in your mind, to also be mistaken for credibility of what it conjures up. To the point that when a thought shows up, an image shows up, intrusive thoughts, or whatever violent thoughts, or whatever abusive thoughts, or whatever kind of thought it is, you actually think, because you think of the brain as authority, falsely, therefore it must have credibility to what it shows, the images and the suggestions and thoughts and so on. Not at all. First of all, it's not the authority. It's been fooling you. It's been masking. The authority has always been you. Because whatever the brain is used for, you're the one who chooses, decides, or vetoes whatever opportunities or options the brain, through the brain, it becomes visible to you. You do the choosing. So the authority is you, not the brain. Brain is tool. And when you focus on that, you will see that brain, who's been faking it to be an authority, or you've been bamboozled to think it's an authority, where does it get its credibility? From where? There is no credibility to the brain. Brain is a machine, is a tool, makes thoughts. But you have the credibility based on what your vetoes and choices are, what your values are, what's meaningful to you, what your standards are. Based on that, something can have credibility or not. Not just because it's been suggested or popped in your head or images. That has no credibility on its own. Based on what is in line with your values, what's meaningful to you, what meets your standards, that gives it credibility or not. So your vetoes and choices is what gives credibility to whatever other people conjures up or utter, or your brains utters. Not just because somebody said something has credibility. Because why? Because that person is an authority, is part of the government, is a politician, is a president of a country, or the king of a country. Bullshit. It's a human being. The authority of a person doesn't mean what comes out of his mouth has credibility. Many politicians and authorities of certain different nations say shit, but it's garbage. Policeman could say something, not just because it's got the uniform, has the authority, doesn't mean what it says. Well, what does he know about medicine? What does he know about, I don't know, certain things that engineering or sciences? It's got the authority, but you got to see what it says has any credibility based on if he's qualified to have that kind of a knowledge or make a opinion about that particular topic. So do not make a mistake thinking that authority naturally gives credibility to whatever that supposedly authority is uttering. Not at all. Same thing with the brain. Brain has become to be looked upon by you as it's an authority. It's never been. You've been conditioned to think it's an authority. You've been using it as a tool, but you've been thinking that this tool is actually making all those decisions and understandings. No, it is you using this tool to make all those things. But somehow it has made itself to look like, oh, it's the intellect, it's the authority. And then because you have believed it's an authority, you also think whatever it comes up with it, suggestion, images, thoughts, also has credibility. No, it doesn't. Just like any other authority can say shit. So rely on yourself. Your vetoes and your choices are the only power. So it doesn't matter what here is showing up in your head. Like there are many people have intrusive thoughts that they imagine that they want to kill someone, or they I don't know, having sex with their father or their mother, or their pedophile, or they thought of harming some child, or something comes into their heads. But these are intrusive thoughts that every human being has, but you are never going to act on them at all. These are just malfunctions of the brain, which is supposed to be shutting down intrusive thoughts, negative thoughts, violent thoughts, abusive thoughts, and there is a mechanism in the striatum that is called caudate nucleus, part of the basal ganglia. It's supposed to shut down intrusive thoughts, which it knows it's not your values. It's not based on what's meaningful to you and based on your standards. And it shuts these intrusive thoughts down. It's designed for this, like a lever of a gear shift of a car that is automatically changes gears. So when intrusive thoughts show up in your head, caudate nucleus is supposed to be that gear to automatically gear out of that intrusive thoughts, shut it down, and move forward. But when it malfunctions, it doesn't do its job right. So when these thoughts show up, which these intrusive thoughts show up in every human being's brain in the world, all of us have intrusive thoughts. When these thoughts show up, caudate nucleus doesn't do its job right. It's malfunctioning. So it lets these thoughts linger instead of making you see it, say, oh, that's nasty, and then shuts it off and you go on. It doesn't do that job, so it lingers. When it lingers, you think, oh, it's got credibility because it's hanging around, it doesn't go away. It must mean something, it must be a message. No, it's nothing, it's a malfunction. It's a fucking malfunction. Like any other electrical system, you're full of neurons and all that, they malfunction. And brain is malfunction. The brain is only 40,000 years old, but you are over a million years old. This brain was mounted on top of you. You never had this brain. Only 40,000 years ago, you were able to think and speak. Speech and ability to think started just recently. Otherwise, before that, you had just stem brain, reptilian brain. Everything was instinctive. You would run, you would hunt, you would eat, you would sleep, you have sex. Everything was clear, hardwired. Inclination, sexual inclination, your gender was all clear, no question about it whatsoever. Why? Because there was no ability to think. Because thoughts are the roots of all problems. Thoughts are the roots of all problems. From the time that we were able to have this ability to think and speak, the words had a meaning. Meaning meant a conclusion, and then we were dealing with conclusion instead of observing how things go on back and forth. So we question everything. These thoughts have no meaning. It's just part of the function of the brain. So we didn't have any problem in the past when we didn't have this kind of a brain that we have today. Everything instinctive. There was no thoughts, there was no questions, there were no confusions about anything. Sexuality, gender, whatever. We were what we were born, and when we were born and made in our mother's womb, that's what it is the rest of our lives. There were no interference with the thought to make, oh, I'm not this, I've not been this, I've been in denial. All that shit is thoughts, is brain's work. It's not actuality of your gender or inclination or how you're put together You're put together once. Doesn't go back and forth changing, like a flag. Doesn't. So when you understand that, then you understand that thoughts have no credibility. And our stem brain never had these problems because it was just instinctive. Everything hardwired. No thoughts to create confusion or suggestions or bring any kind of interference or any kind of questions to be answered of any kind. But now you're constantly, I got to answer this. I got to assure myself I'm this, I'm that. None of that was existed because you weren't able to have these questions and thoughts and utterings. So it is not your problem or your biology or gender problem. It's this problem that is malfunctioning in its behavior to simply not create these intrusive thoughts. We all do create it, but that's why caudate nucleus is here to shut it down. When it doesn't shut down, you get stuck with all these things. What do I do? What does it mean? Am I going to harm this child? Am I going to kill myself? Am I going to hit myself in the face? No, it's just a thought. They won't do it. All right, anyhow. Alejandro says, does HOCD give off false feelings? Yes, it does. Watch my two playlists, Intrusive, Transient, OCD, HOCD negative thoughts, and Intrusive, OCD, HOCD short videos. These two playlists will be very informative to you. Oh my goodness, Tena Koe Matua Meron, and what was it? You haven't been here for a while, so don't that's why I'm a little rusty in my Maori language. Kia ora, Nick. Kia ora. There we go. You said it here too. Male 44 New Zealand. Kia ora. Koutu. Hi everyone, and hello to you as well, Nick. Good of you to be here. T says, would you say to overcome HOCD we need faith in ourselves? You just need to understand HOCD is bullshit. That's all. It's brain's thoughts. It's not your thoughts. It's two different things. And Parsa says, okay, I have a question. Says, I want to ask you something. Go ahead, Parsa. That's fine. And let's follow Parsa's question here. Parsa says, I'm in Kiman Melody. We can inke fake Aha. Aha. Okay. Parsa says, my question is that I have, let me clean this. Oops, what happened? He says, my question is that it is difficult for me to accept that the person that I'm going to be with is not her first time in relationship, in sex. And it's difficult for me to accept that. Because I myself have saved myself for marriage, and therefore it is hard for me to accept that, that someone that he wants to marry or be with has already had sex with somebody else. Well, this is cultural. There's no basis on it's bad or good. It's cultural, based on your cultural beliefs, with traditions. In some countries, this is frowned upon. In some countries, it's a normal thing. And it's going to be very difficult for you because you've been raised in Iran with that mentality, and it's kind of ingrained in your value system. And since childhood, this has been taboo, even though it's the most normal thing a man and a woman want to have sex, but it's been child, oh no, don't think about sex, baddie, it's bad, don't think about it. What the fuck? So they fucked your brain since childhood about, you know, having sexual desires towards a woman. And now that you want to have a relationship with a woman, you think that she should have come out of a wrapping paper without having had any feelings toward anybody else, just been waiting around for you to show up. As much as it makes sense to you, but it is only because you have been groomed through your ego all your life about this mentality that me, and I'm defined by the purity of the woman in her physical sense. In other words, if she has not been with anybody, that makes me very important. And if she happened to be a human being like I am, and I've had emotions and fallen in love with somebody, not of her, you know, it's a normal thing for any human being to fall in love. You have a hard time to understand that if she has been a human being and fallen in love and wanted to have sex with somebody, just because in that nation, in that culture, that has been frowned upon. Oh, if the woman has lost her hymen, the vagina has been penetrated, therefore she's no longer a good woman. Oh, bullshit. But if I, as a man, fuck as many women as I want, and I become more of a stud and be looked upon as a real man. Bullshit. Both of you are human beings. Both of you fall in love. Both of you want touches. Both of you want to have intimacy, kiss and hug, and this is part of being a human. We were human before we had any religion or traditions. And before we had all these tradition, religion, which is conjured up from our own head, there was no law in the world that this is how human should be. Thou shalt not fuck. Really? But thou can fuck. If thou fuck is okay, thou fuck is not okay. It's all bullshit. Before these religions and these traditions were conjured up, there was no such thing. Everybody was a human being and their human emotions was there the same way as it is today. But then they came out, put it in a framework in order to control certain things and make them feel, because they were so fucking useless to feel good about themselves, they made the virginity of a woman to be the instrument of making me a man or not man, because they couldn't be dealing with life as they should and be the man by the way they negotiate life. Instead, they said, oh, I'm a better man if my woman has not been touched with any other woman, any other man. Look, she's like you. She has emotions. She falls in love, you fall in love. You want to hold a girl in your arm and she wanted to hold a guy in her arms. So suddenly she's not good what she does, which is the same thing you do. It's going to be difficult for you to understand this because all you think about, oh, how can I imagine the girl that I love, that I worship, that I think is the best in the world, has been in bed with another man and been saying all those images and all. You don't want to even imagine because you think, oh, don't look at it that way. She has done nothing but any other person would have done. You just didn't go. I bet you if you had come up with some situation that you really loved her, you would have probably had sex too. It's normal to have sex. There's nothing taboo about it. But it is taboo in those countries for one reason or another. Somehow some sucker came out and tabooed it. And, well, listen, if you choose that way, well, it's got its own, interesting points. They all have this mentality, oh, it's mine, da, 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 da. Why don't you go become a human being based on your accomplishment rather than thinking, oh, I'm a real good human being, accomplished, really important, because I'm the only one who's fucking this woman. Really? If that's what you're hanging up, if that's how your values and your accomplishment is going to be summed up with, you're pretty pathetic in this life. So what are you going to do when she decides she doesn't want to be with you anymore? Your whole life is crumbled down because all my manhood was summed up in her vagina. That the fact that she was mine, only mine, but nothing else. I can't deal with life, can't deal with my finances, I can't be a good person, I can't help others, I can't accomplish anything, I can't learn anything, I can't produce anything, design it. None of that matters, only the fact, If you see all that, how shitty it is, then you'll understand that she hasn't done anything wrong. She slept with someone because she loved to, because she liked that person, but then she realized that the compatibility of the consciousness and that person's consciousness does not match, and they separated. Just like many people get married and they haven't had sex with anybody else, they've saved themselves from marriage, but then they get married, and after they got married and that sex thing is out of the way, now they start opening their eyes to each other's consciousness, because now they're not covered with all these hormones and all these desire for intimacy, and they're now relaxed and they can actually focus on the quality of each other's consciousness. And then they see, holy fuck, it doesn't match. I can't stand this girl. Or she says, I can't stand this guy. So eventually, maybe not right away, but after a few years, they come to this conclusion that they've grown apart, because we are our consciousness, right? We are the content of our consciousness. So they seem to have grown apart and they no longer appreciate each other's interaction. So what do? They divorce. Now that they have divorced, what are you going to say? Oh, because they had an agreement, that's okay to have fucked each other. But if they didn't, oh, it's a sin. What's the difference? They're not divorced. But they each have had sex with somebody else, which is themselves. Now the next person is going to say, oh, you have had sex with somebody else. She says, but I was divorced. Here's the paper. I was married. And here's the paper to show it. Oh, then it's okay. What the fuck? You're fooling yourself. If it's okay to have sex because you've been married, then it's okay to have sex without being married. What does that piece of paper say? Your judgment about your attraction, your love, and your reasonability and decision on having intimacy, that's one thing. And then being part of a tradition that dictates to you how should you or shouldn't do, that's another. As I said, there are points that is valid that if you but important is what kind of relationship you have with each other after you decided to be together and you are together, not what you've been doing with other people before you get to each other. It's about how you treat each other, not how you were or were not with someone before you meet each other. Don't judge a person based on if she had sex with somebody else before or not. That's their right. That's their life. They could have had said, how do they know you're going to show up? And who the fuck are you that you're supposed to expect everybody should be waiting for you to be between their legs? Otherwise, that person is bad because somebody else has been between your legs. But if you're between their legs, it's okay. Who made you the king of the world? So if you be reasonable, you can see that what you're really expecting is unreasonable, because you're expecting her to not be human. And if she has, you're going to call that a bad thing. Why? Because some fucking religion or some fucking tradition called it a bad thing. But it's good if you're married, but it's bad if you're not married. So the act of sex is not bad. If you're doing it on the grass or in the bed, it makes it bad. In other words, if the tradition or religion, you are married or not, is bad or good. I don't think that has a merit. It's got nothing to do with the genuine feeling of a human being and how we are put together. We have emotions. We want intimacy. So she hasn't been whoring around. So what the hell are we talking about? So that's my opinion on that. So be cool about it. If she's the right person, she's a good person, and being a good person or a bad person doesn't have anything to do how many times and how many people you've been sleeping with. You can sleep with 100 and be a very good person, or you can sleep with nobody and be a shitty person. It's got nothing to do with sex. Are you marrying her body, or are you marrying her soul and her mentality and consciousness of what she brings to your life and what you guys are going to build together? So that's what you should be thinking. Anyhow, you got to sort that out before you go forward, because you can't be fucking go into that relationship and constantly trying to beat that on her head. That's not going to last long anyhow. And Random Girl says, I'm girly, and whenever I see girls who act like boys, I get scared of being attracted to them, because I'm originally attracted to men, so maybe I could be attracted to them. That's why I'm scared. What are you scared of? I could see a horse, and its hindquarters would be very pretty and shiny, beautiful horse, and we are sexual beings, and everything that is sexually relevant could create a kind of a possible attraction or a thought of it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be having sex with that horse. I could see some, I don't know, nice table setting in a romantic restaurant, and I see that table all set up with, ready for dinner, and I could feel romantic. What does that mean? I want to make it with the table? No, anything sexually relevant can create a reaction in feeling or biological reaction in us. But that doesn't mean I'm interested in that particular thing or same gender. It creates a feeling because it has a sexual connotation, it has a sexual relevance, sexually relevant. And that makes my brain, whose amazing speed and capability to associate things with sex. Anything that has sexual relevance can be associated with the concept of sex, and I could then, being a sexual being, would identify with that concept, and I could react to that concept. But because the trigger was maybe some of the guy's looks or some of the same genders maybe muscle, then you would say, oh, that's a homosexual reaction. No, it's not. It's a sexual relevance, because I could have the same reaction to a statue in the middle of the square, or to a horse's butt, or to a doorknob, because it has certain kind of a, I don't know, shininess or romanticness of, I don't know, not the doorknob, but something, maybe table setting. And that sexual relevance takes you to that reaction through that connotation. But that doesn't mean that you're interested in that, what triggered the association to the concept of sex. So you may see this girl, she has certain kind of a look about her that, you like guys, and she resembles the guy's behavior or guy's look, or a certain kind of a connotation of a guy, which is you like. So you think then that trigger, you think that you like the girl. No, you like the manly thing that is represented in her as guys, because you like guys. So it's like a man sees some guy who's maybe a little bit feminine, and then thinks, oh, it feels sexual. But it's not that you like another guy, it's because of femininity, that behavior is relevant to sexuality, and then that is what is associated with. It could be whether the femininity or the fact that they're sexually relevant, and it's not feminine but sexually relevant, and then is associated with the concept of sex. And anything sexually relevant could have a some kind of a feeling or arousal of any kind of a feeling or thoughts or arousal. And the same thing here. It could be that she's very pretty, and her beautiful face or body has a sexual relevance, and you being a girl, seeing another beautiful girl, her body brings about the connotation and association to sex, and that itself creates a relevance and reaction in you. But that doesn't mean you like her to be having anything, but you just have that recognizing that association that she represents to the intimacy and to sex, and you being a sexual being, you can have the association. Your brain makes that association. Or if she's having a little bit of a tomboy look and you like men, obviously that's what you see in her. That is what you're attracted to that characteristics, not to her gender. I hope that is somewhat helpful to you. Random girl. And Ash is here. Ash says, Mehran, is it possible I could just be asexual instead? Well, you're a worm? Says, I'm having no luck with women since trying, and HOCD is still attacking, but I feel much less anxiety. But sometimes you see, guys, I believe if you guys really focus on understanding, not on the content that's being thrown out by the brain, but on the brain itself that is not representing you, that is not intellect, that is not deciding factor for you, that is not you. If you understand the separation between the brain that is mounted on your head and you, and the thoughts that are created by the brain, and the thoughts that are created using the brain by you, then you will take that credibility out of the brain, and you see the brain for what it is, and its role in your existence, and you will give it that role that it deserves, not more. When you separate the brain from you, then none of these things that comes in the form of thoughts or suggestion or images would cause any question in your mind, because the source of it is already dealt with as being separate system and irrelevant to you, and not as an authority, but as a tool. If you understand and get your focus on that, then you don't give a fuck what kind of a suggestion it makes, what kind of an image and thought shows up in the head, because the head itself is bogus, is not reputable or credible or authority of any kind. It's just a tool. That's what you should be focusing on, rather than constantly focusing on an answer to a question that the source of the question is bogus itself. Yeah, the answer to your next question, Ash, is also in the one that I just gave. Yeah, don't look for it. Don't look for a passion. Just focus on understanding the brain's behavior and be clear that the jig is up. You can see that the brain is not you. Therefore, it is no difference than somebody else standing beside you and saying shit. Because you see the physical separation, you won't believe them. You say, fuck you. It's you. That's not me. But because this thing doesn't have a physical separation, is mounted on your head, you have a problem and confusion thinking that what it comes from within me must be me. No, it's not. Because what comes from within you is also shit. Is that you? No. It's what the intestine does, makes shit. It's what the brain does, makes thoughts, suggestions, images. But that just because coming from within your physical existence doesn't mean it's representing you, because you are beyond the reach of your physical existence. You are beyond the reach of the brain. You're beyond the reach of your intestine. You're beyond the reach of your organs. There is a you who these organs are serving. So the brain is also another tool. Do not believe the bullshit that it says, because it's doing its job of making thoughts. Why? Because it's possible to make thoughts, because it is designed to make thoughts. That's what it does. Now you're supposed to see the difference and not say what it makes it describing or identifying me. What it does, it's doing its job. But none of what it does is defining me. I define me. My vetoes, choices, and preferences. That's me. My intellect, my judgment of all these things that my other apparatuses do is who I am, not what they do. Capiche? You guys are lucky that this pandemic shit is closed all the borders. I would be running around and beating the crap out of every one of you, which you have been bamboozled and fooled by your fucking brains, which all our lives we've been fooled by it. Time to wake up. Get ownership of you. It doesn't belong to the brain. You belong to you. There is a you before the brain was added to you. Englidani says, Mehran, if someone is constantly complaining, what do you do to escape from the complaints? Well, you got to give me a little bit more. What is it? Complaining in your house? Is it your mother? Is it your father? Is it your brother, sister? Is it your girlfriend? Are you living together? If you're not living together, you don't have to see them. Just tell them to fuck off. Don't see them. Complaining, don't listen. Do your best, whatever is fair, but don't, because people complain is their way of making themselves not do shit, but consider themselves higher than you, because they're not doing anything, but they're antagonizing everything you do. So you're the one who actually does things. They're the ones who don't do things because they're lazy ass and don't want to do things. In order to bring themselves up, elevate themselves up, one way, the best way, easiest way, most laziest way is to knock you down. Everything you do, make fun of it. Everything you do, antagonize it. Everything you do, complain about it. Because that makes them, really, they're not satisfied. They're smart. They expect more. That means I'm not good enough. Which means, if I believe that I'm not good enough, which means what? That they're higher than me. And that's what their intention. Not getting high up by their own efforts and accomplishments, but getting high up by constantly antagonizing and complaining from what you do, which you're the only one who's doing things. So don't give a shit. They're trying to bamboozle you, and don't buy into it. Just tell them to fuck off. You complain, okay, complain. That's what it is. But just be fair. Do your best, and then you're fine. Whatever you decide. Petit Man is here. Says, hey, Mehran. Hello, Petit Man. Says, is it bad not wanting to get married or be in a relationship? I just want to live alone and do my own things and hobbies. No, what's wrong with that? It's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. You enjoy, you're happy, you're learning things, you're accomplishing things, and no problems. You don't have to be in a relationship, you don't have to get married. When it comes to the part that you think, oh, well, I want to have a girlfriend now, then you may. But you don't have to just because everybody else does. You're happy, you have your sports, you have your accomplishments, you have your hobbies, you don't have to, worry about anything going right or wrong. And then when you're ready, you will. If you're not, then you won't. And you'll just continue your life being happy and enjoying yourself. And whenever you want to have a girlfriend, you'll have a girlfriend. Whenever you have a relationship, you will have. Whenever you don't, you don't. It's no big deal. But what you're deciding today is not forever either. You may change that later on, and then you'll change it. But at this point, it's not a problem. Do what makes you happy. Accomplish yourself. And she says how to deal with infidelity and how to move on from being cheated on, and I still want my relationship to work out. Well, why should you deal with infidelity? If she cheated on you, she's not qualified. Why do you have to keep it together? So your desire for sex and intimacy is closing your eyes on the quality of the person who is operating in your relationship. Why? Why should you put up with this? She cheated on you, bye-bye. Why? Why do you think that you have to suck up to a quality because of your desire rather than the quality of the quality? Quality of the quality. What's wrong with you? Have some respect for yourselves. Grow a pair. If you're in a relationship and she goes and fucks around, well, then wish her well, say, have a nice day, there's the door, bye-bye. Why do you think you have to work it? Why do you feel obligated? Oh, I will be a good person if I can endure this. Why? Because I've created some fucking observer out there, out of my own brain, my own thoughts, that is watching me and judging me, that if I'm a good person, if I can forgive someone. No, what the fuck is this you're talking about? It's a relationship. It's not about like your brother or mother or sister did something unfair to you. It's a relationship. It's your girlfriend. It's your wife. Cheated on you. Then fuck off. You don't do anything bad to them. You don't wish them ill. You just say, look, thank you very much, but no thank you. My standards cannot tolerate this. You were with me. You cheated on me. That was your decision. I don't have to live with it. And I'm not going to now cover it for you and consider myself, I have to forgive you to be a good person in the eyes of that piece of shit that I've carved up out of my own brain and my own thoughts, watching me and judging me from the above. And for that reason, I'm going to have to deal with your infidelity. No, why? Why? You had a choice. You made the choice. You slept with the guy. Bye-bye. I'm not interested. And don't be a pussy and stop being, oh, but then she's not going to be mine. I'm going to not have intimacy with her. Well, you shouldn't. You should have some standards. If she doesn't live up to the standards that you are offering, she doesn't deserve your attention. If it was the other way around, the same thing. So, move on. That will be the easiest for you. She cheated on you, bye-bye. You don't have to keep. Why do you want to keep that relationship? What for? What? Who do you want to score point in front of? Huh? Some God is looking at you. Oh, you have to be forgiven. No, why? This is not it's not a simple thing. She could have broken up with you. She could have gone and done whatever she wanted to do. And if you guys a year later or whenever you guys get back together, maybe you will, maybe you won't. But not when you're in a relationship and you haven't broken up and you go and cheat. That's a sign of many other bullshits to come. So, don't. All right. Explore says how to forget a toxic ex and move on. Forget and move on. That's how you do it. There was this old story, says this man came home and was sitting having dinner with his wife, and the wife was talking about, oh, I'm worried. He said, what is it? What are you worried about? The husband says. The wife says, oh, nothing. He says, but what is it? He says, no, I'm worried. Anyhow, a few nights passes by, and eventually the husband says, every night I come home, we're having dinner, you're sad. And I ask you, don't say, what is it? What is it? He says, oh, it's my brother, she says. So what's about your brother? She says, well, he's thinking about renouncing the world, and that bothers me, makes me afraid, worries me about him. The husband says, how long has he been thinking about renouncing the world? She says, oh, a few years now. He says, he's not going to renounce the world. Do you know what? Do you want to know how one renounces the world? She says, yeah. The man gets up from the ground when they were having food, puts his turban on. In the old times, that's what they did. He walks out the door. It never comes back. And that's it. That's how one does what one does. So the fact that, you ask me how do I forget a toxic relationship and move on, you just move on. You have all the power to make a decision. Make a decision rather than hanging on to, I can't make this decision because I'm afraid of losing that intimacy, losing that order. Even though it's a shitty, negative order, but I'm used to that. I'm conditioned to that shitty environment. No. Break out of that condition, break out of that shitty environment, and free yourself. All it takes is get off and get out of the door. That's it. Make a decision and out. Done. Don't waste your time, your life on these things. And something as bad as, what do you say? You wanted to drink this. Like, oh, sir, we just found out that this tea is poison. The manufacturer made a mistake. There's cyanide in it. So I'm saying, but it's so warm and so good. I spent so much time making it ready. It's got enough sugar in it and it's perfect. It's got a piece of mango in it and it smells really good. Oh, how can I stop drinking this poison? Oh, fuck, you're gonna die. This is toxic. What's there to think? I don't need to spend time to make it. No. Oh, really? It's gonna kill me. It's not good for me. Don't worry. Done. So you're wasting your life about this. These decisions should be made like, toxic, end it. Done. Save yourself. And Random Girl says, how to differentiate between denial and HOCD because it's so confusing. I'm scared of denial. Yeah, it's not a denial. You watch my video, because if I explain it here, that'll be another hour just explaining that. In the video that, in this playlist, I have a video called Are You in Denial? And this is the link for it. And this will explain to you why you're not in denial. Because this question is part of the malfunction of the brain, that you take all the evidence that you have from your background and everything that you are who you've always been, you chuck them all out and you only focus on one thing that has come to your mind in the form of a suggestion or image or a thought. And you base that to be the deciding factor to erase everything else that you've been, but focusing on this. And this has credibility, and none of the past that you've been living and how you've been living, how you prefer to live and all that, none of that matters anymore. That's a malfunction of the brain, because it's illogical to have so much evidence of how you've been, how you love to be, how you prefer to be, and what your inclination is, what it has always been, what you prefer to be. You put all those evidence away and now just focus on one shitty little thing that has popped up in your head, a suggestion or images, which is due to the malfunction of the brain, but you're taking that as fact and you're taking all these as denial. None of that matters, but only that. So therefore, I'm in denial. I should not accept all what I've been, what I am, what I like to be, but I accept this thought that comes from some fucking untrusted source, but consider it trusted because I've been bamboozled to think that this is an authority. So whatever shit comes out of it must have credibility. It doesn't. It's a malfunction. Understand that, and you'll understand. You're not in denial. Watch that video. It's a lot more. If I want to explain it, watch that video. that I put for you that will explain to you. Petite man is laughing my ass off. Okay, I don't know what I did. I say lots of things. Could be funny at the moment, but I don't have the time to laugh at it. So later on, I don't know what I said. All right. Ash is laughing too. I must have said something funny. Yeah, T, because they give in to thoughts. They allow the power of the brain to convince them. It's like some pervert walking around with the school kids when they come from the school. They're walking behind them and trying to convince them, say things constantly over and over, and they tricks them. And then suddenly they're supposed to think that they are not the gender that they've been. No, they've been fooled by some fucker out there as a pervert. And your brain in HOCD becomes a pervert. And you gotta call it for what it is. The jig is up. I'm being bamboozled and pursued by a pervert. And that's your brain. Simple. Because what the hell is this? For 20 years you've been heterosexual and suddenly your gender changes. When is the next time it's going to change? Why are you so convinced that if you've been for 20 years heterosexual and then this HOCD shows up and suddenly you're convinced that you're not what the gender you've always been, but you're convinced this is the right one? Well, how come you were not born with it? And then if this is the right one, when is the next switch over? Because if it can be switched from that to this, then there should be a switch from this to that or to another. So when is this cycle going to stop? So you can see this is not biological. This is mental. Because if you were homosexual from childhood. You knew it. You would be inclination not to girls. Yeah? But if you are heterosexual and then you have HOCD or you are any other gender that you have now HOCD, which is opposite of what you are, whatever gender you are, then how come you think this one is going to be, but that one that was is not? And when is that going to be changed? And then that later on going to be changed, and then later on to be changed. How many times is it going to happen? So you got to answer all these questions very logically rather than being bamboozled because a question showed up. I have to answer that. No, there's no answer to be had. Fuck these questions. Protect yourself. Stand your ground. Love who you are, your vetoes and choices. Doesn't matter what shows up. It's like you go to bazaar and they try to sell you all kind of shit. You say, no. Veto and choices. No, please buy this. This is a good deal. Please, oh, you want to buy this? No, I don't want it. That's it. I don't care how many times these bazaar, different booths in the bazaar show up. I pass by. All these offerings, I don't have any interest in it. It doesn't matter how many times they come in front of me trying to sell their stuff. I don't want it. I'm going to go to the store that I'm looking for. That's how it is. Brains suggest all these things. You're supposed to be the master. You're supposed to be the decision maker. Not being bamboozled, taking suggestions of other people. So you'll be running with different suggestions. Today, the inclination that is being talked about on television and all these things is some other gender. So, I'm now influenced by that. The brain says, maybe he wants to be that. Okay. And the next day, they talk about something. So next time, so you're living with the suggestions. Other people or your own brain. Don't. Establish authority. Protect. You're responsible to protect yourself from the brain and from every other fucking thing that is out there that could be harmful and dangerous to you. Other people's uttering, other people's scams, other people's things. All day long, there's all kind of scams. The brain also malfunctions, which is a scam. So you got to call it up. And your responsibility is to protect yourself against foreign or domestic people uttering from outside and their intentions, and or your own brain from inside. Yeah, it's a long time ago. I said, by the time I get your comments, it's already too. All right. Baboksi says, hi, male 43, Slovenia, Europe. Thank you for that. Says, one time you told me that I have to start loving myself. How to do this? In the past, I was people pleaser. How I think I stopped a little. Now I think I stopped a little. But now I do not know what the term of self-loving is. People that I love, I always put before me my children, and that I forget myself and my needs. Well, to love your children and put them first is honorable, and it's the way it should be. But not overly. Because when you overly pay attention to things that do not need attention, you're being selfish. In other words, you're actually egoistic, and you want to be recognized extraordinarily to get kudos, and for that you overdo it because you think you want to get some special attention. For that special attention and recognition, you're overdoing it. And in the overdoing, which you think is putting them first, you're actually limiting their ability to take care of themselves, which in fact you're doing a disservice to them. You're stopping them from developing the way they would have. And that could backfire. It would take them a while to reclaim their authority later on. So you let them be, so they'll be more comfortable. You also will have time to pay attention to yourself, and not to think that always what other people want or the ones that you love should be coming first. Within reasons. Everything balance. 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 All right. Parsa says, thank you very much for your discussion. You're quite welcome, Parsa. All right. T, a few of my questions have been overlooked. Really? Well, I'm sorry. This is not a private session. I could overlook many questions because there's so many questions. I want to attend to everybody. I can't be answering everyone's question, everyone question. So maybe one or two from each person, and then the next one. Whether this was intentional or I probably didn't see it, but if I have and passed by, it basically means it's not a private session. That's why I can't dedicate to one person, even though I try my best to be thorough on that. So for of course, focused attention only to one, well, you can always go to my site, mind@6truth.com, make an appointment on Skype, and then, of course, I add another hour to your 1 hour appointment, and you'll have my undivided attention for that 2 hours at the first session, and we'll explore what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. I hope that's acceptable to you, T. In any case, it is possible that I passed over some questions because I've responded to it in a previous question. It's just different questions, same question in different ways. That's why I want to save time. And so I'm sure that you can find your question in my other answers. O says, Onur Emre, or Emre, says, that must be from Turkey, I believe. Let's see. Hello, male 21, Turkey. Oh, there we go. We had to break up with my girlfriend because we live in different countries. All right. I'm trying to do different things to forget, but everything reminds me the moment we were together. Yeah, of course, it's normal, natural. You will be thinking of her. You're 21 years old, very impressionable. One of the first few, experiences in a relationship. So naturally, you're going to be thinking about her. And to you at that age, being with a woman is an extraordinary event of life, and so she's like, to in your mind, oh, my wife, my girlfriend, my lady, all that and so forth, especially that comes with benefits. I wonder what, it's been long distance, so you haven't had those benefits anyhow, but you're still hung up on her because you think anything else that you're supposed to do in life is maybe more challenging, and this gives you a good feeling, so perhaps to be with her would be more meaningful than what it is, because it can't be that meaningful, really. You're long distance, she's in a different country. What good is that? Break it up. Go on, find for reality. Everything is virtuality, and even your relationships are virtuality on the internet. What the fuck can you do on the internet? Go find a real woman and have a relationship with her if she's qualified, if you're qualified for her, in where you are. Stop these fucking bullshit long distance relationships. It's not gonna go anywhere. There's a mind, there's a body. They each have their rules. You can't be sitting here and imagine hamburger, 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 and then hamburger shows up. No, you still got to go up and actually eat that food to feel good biologically. And you can't be simply eating all these food and feel, oh, I'm going to reach the state of meditation and become very powerful in my mind because I'm eating so much. No, the rules for mind and the rules for body. So you will have a intellectual interaction with her or mental connection through the internet, long distance, but your physical needs in both of you is not met. So that's going to be a hindrance for that relationship. Eventually, it's going to cause trouble. It's the same as if you guys are physically attracted and having a good time, but mentally coming from different values. That also will become troublesome, and it will cause this separation, and you guys will break up. And this is unnaturally should have been break up already, just because it's long distance, let alone now whatever else is the reason. So move on from it. It's no good, and enjoy your life by finding someone. You're in Turkey. So many amazing, beautiful women with manners and mentalities just love to be a woman. They love to be a female. They love to be a wife. They love to be a girlfriend. They're amazingly cultured. And what's wrong with you? Oh, unless she's also Turk and from just living somewhere else. But either way, if she's not there, then that's it. That's no good. That's not a relationship. That's just reading a novel. All right. Omar says, due to the quarantine, everything's closed now. Where nowhere to go, no space to meet new people. I worry about how I will survive until life starts become normal. What can I do? Survive. That's what we're good at. We survive. Don't question how I can survive. How can the ancestors survive in the dinosaurs and tigers and all the bullshit and the wars and all that? We survive. Now you can't survive because you don't have a girlfriend close by. Kind of a no, that's it. What kind of bullshit is that? You can survive. You're a Turk. You can survive. God damn it. Don't be so soft on yourself. And Christopher Bobber says, I like what I hear. Thank you for your good words. Okay, you're quite welcome. Says, I wrote so fast, it should be read as thank you for your good words. The smart ones. Okay, you're quite welcome. Thank you. My pleasure. And Ed Lirgu says, hi, Mehran, male 41, New York. Oh, okay, Big Apple. Second time here. Why only second time? No soup for you. It says, just trying to accept the devastating reality of my divorce by losing 16 years of my life with the wrong person after 2 years, still mad for all my losses. It's not loss. You wouldn't be thinking this way. You wouldn't have gained these experiences if you hadn't gone through the 16 years that you've gone. In that 16 years, listen, if it was really that bad, you would have ended it in third or fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh year. And maybe you have children, you stayed around for them, but then you had a good reason. So nothing has been wasted. And the person that you are wouldn't have been the person that you are if you hadn't gone through the path that you've gone. And the path that you've gone, as bad as it was, but it has made the changes that you needed to make and the things that you needed to see. Now you're wiser, stronger, and better equipped for the rest of your life. Stop that bullshit. You're 41 years old. You're just young as a spring chicken. Are you kidding? At age 43, I thought I was on top of the world. And I was the strongest in my life, in my time, in everything. So you're just at the right place to go on. And forget about it. Forgive yourself. Who are you? Who do you think you are? Aristotle, you make no mistakes. We all make mistakes. So we learn from those mistakes, and that's the value of the lesson. So you learn it, you become a better person. Don't be mad at yourself. What do you think you are? Don't expect too much from yourself. Do your best, but don't expect too much from yourself. And Ash says that man with the turban went to some extreme length to prove his point. I did, didn't he? But I guess he had his own reason. He's been thinking about it for a while as well. And and says, I've never been to a Middle Eastern bazaar where merchants in turbans have tried to sell me homosexuality, my friend, for you, for the small price of your sanity, I offer you homosexuality. Yeah, see, it's your choice to buy or not to buy. That's it. Your brain is trying to sell you something, tell them to fuck off. Not interested. French says, dégage. Il n'y a pas de pain ici. All right. And when really you shouldn't even be in bazaar in the Middle East, you should be in a therapist office. Correct, you are. All right. Okay, so where are we? And Honor says, thank you very much for your answer. You're quite welcome, Honor. How do you say? Is that the right way if I say Güle Güle Efendi? Or is it the wrong word? Or should I say Buyuruz? Huh? What's the correct way of saying it? Petit Man says, any new books, Mehran, since 2019? No. You have my book, don't you? Me, My Psyche, and I. Have you finished that book? That's a good book. Nico Metushi says, hi, it's Nico from France. Bonjour, bonsoir, monsieur. Comment ça va aujourd'hui? Nico says, in a bad situation, you helped me. Thank you, and I feel much better. I'm delighted to hear that. He says, you're the best. Merci, monsieur. Je vous en prie. So, guys, here we are at the end of our discussion. Here's 2 hours, 46 minutes to 13 seconds, 14:15. It's time for me to say that I look forward to talk to you again, perhaps tonight at 9 p.m. when we have another live stream. If not, then next weekend at 1 p.m. Vancouver time and 9 p.m. Vancouver time, Saturdays. Please do promote the live streams that I put the link up there and in your social media, and let people know that we have a support system here, and they can come here and ask the questions about their relationships, breakups, emotional hardships, and thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, mechanical process, material process, order, OCD, HOCD, and intrusive thoughts, and we'll discuss it here live on Mind That Seeks Truth YouTube channel. Now it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to talk to you again, perhaps tonight, if not the next week. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.